Derek Vaughan, Labour MEP for Wales. You're hosting an event here in the European Parliament to do with Swansea and its forthcoming new campus. First of all, how important is this campus to the university, to the city of Swansea?
Before coming to the European Parliament, I was leader of Ex-Neath Port Talbot Council, and one of the last things I did was to try and ensure that the second campus went ahead, and it's actually placed within the boundaries of Ex-Neath Port Talbot. I could see at that time, and I can still see now, it would bring huge benefits to the all of the South Wales economy. It means probably 3,000 jobs being created. It could bring £3 billion into the local economy over a period. So it's vital for the university, but vital for the rest of the South Wales economy.
And the EU has played a part in this insofar as it's provided funding. How much money has come from Europe and how vital has that been in getting this project off the ground?
Well, I think it's fair to say that this project probably would not have got off the ground without European Union money. So, for example, there'll be around £60 million coming from the European Investment Bank and about £20 million in structural funds. That's £80 million. That's a huge investment by the European Union. So it's great to see that investment, and it shows how important EU funding is for Wales.
And does it also show, do you think, a degree of confidence in Swansea that the money has been invested there, that the go-ahead has gone to spend millions of pounds from the European Union in Swansea?
I know the university have been in detailed talks with the European Union, and I know the European Union, the Commission and the European Investment Bank have been supportive and impressed by the proposals. That's why they're willing to invest. The money's going in there. It'd be a huge boost to the local economy, and I'm also pleased to see that confidence has been shown by a number of private sector companies. So for example, we know Rolls-Royce and Hewlett-Packard will be going into the science camp attached to the university. So this is a huge boost for the whole area.
And why is it important to come out here and have an event in Brussels on the Swansea campus?
Well, we want to showcase the second campus. We want to tell all of Europe that European Union money has been used well in Wales. We also want to highlight the importance of the project to South West Wales. We want to tell people this project is going ahead. We want to advertise it to companies, to tell them to come. We want to tell students that they can come to Swansea if they wish. So this is an important moment, and I'm delighted to be able to host this event in the European Parliament tonight for the Swansea University.
You mentioned the importance of European money in getting this off the ground. For you, does that signify a wider importance of EU funding for Wales, both now and for the future?
Well, I've always said that EU funding is vital for Wales. Over the current period, Wales will probably get around £2.5 billion worth of structural funds. But in addition to that, there are many other pots of money coming to Wales from the European Union. And I know right across Wales, there are many projects just wouldn't take place without the EU funding. Many infrastructure projects, many town centre developments, many skills training schemes are all funded by the European Union. And this Swansea campus is just another example of that. So it's vital, as far as I'm concerned, that the UK and Wales remains part of the European Union, and not just remains part of the European Union, but plays an active part to make sure that Wales gets all the benefits it can from being a member of the European Union.
Now, as we speak, the budget negotiations for the European Union for the next 7 years are ongoing. Very difficult talks, but what seems to be the theme is that there will be a lower budget than there has been up till now. How much of a concern is that to you for Wales?
Well, it looks like the EU budget next time round is going to be cut by around 3.5%, which is over €30 billion. And because David Cameron did not negotiate safeguards for the most deprived parts of the UK, like Wales, in the budget negotiations, it did seem a couple of weeks ago that Wales might lose over £400 million worth of structural funds in the next period. But myself and the Welsh Government will be lobbying and negotiating hard with the UK Government and with the Commission. And so I'm now more hopeful that next time round Wales may get at least what it got in the current round. No final decision yet, but I'm now hopeful we can do that. And that's a huge achievement for us. If we can say over the last couple of months we've increased the pot of money coming to Wales by over £400 million, I'd be delighted to have played a part in that, and I'm sure the Welsh Government will be delighted, and all the beneficiaries of the EU projects in Wales will be delighted also.
As things stand, there isn't yet an agreement on that budget. If that remains the case, that the agreement can't be reached, how much danger does that create in Wales, the degree of uncertainty about the future budget?
Well, a budget will be agreed. The question is when it's going to be agreed. Personally, I'd like to see the budget agreed as quickly as possible in order we can get the structural funds projects and all the other projects funded by Europe in place next year, or at least starting next year. So negotiations will continue over the next few days. I'm hopeful an agreement can be reached. The Parliament is largely accepting the figures put forward by the Council on the next multi-annual financial framework, and we're now down to the detail. So, for example, the Parliament wants greater flexibility in the budget. We are rightly saying that because the budget is tight, we need flexibility in order to move money between headings and also to move money between years. So if the Council can give up a few things on that, we can make progress in the next few days, and hopefully next week in the plenary session in Strasbourg we can vote on the budget. If the Council doesn't give way on those things, then we might find that the budget negotiations continue into the autumn, which might mean that the structural funds projects, which are so important in Wales, aren't ready to go at the start of 2014.
Just briefly to return to Swansea, where a huge amount of money, as you mentioned right at the beginning, has been put in from the European Union. Where else would you like to see European money now spent in Wales on projects such as this one?
Well, the Welsh Government is currently consulting on how the next round of structural funds should be used in Wales. And I think there is a degree of consensus that perhaps next time around we should be spending a lot more money on infrastructure projects. There's still lots of infrastructure to be improved in Wales, whether it's the road, the railways, broadband improvements, etc. So I think that's likely to be the case, and I would support that, because if you improve the infrastructure, you're putting people back to work straight away, but you're also improving the competitiveness of the economy in the long term. So we need to do that, but at the same time we need to look at the other things as well. We need to make sure that we do still provide training schemes to help people back to work, that we do provide support for SMEs, that we do provide business support, etc. So it's getting that balance right, but I certainly think next time round we will be spending, or should be spending, a lot on infrastructure.